You know that feeling when you check your phone and there's no text and your stomach literally drops? That isn't just anxiety. That is your brain reacting to a survival threat. See, I went down a rabbit hole recently, and it turns out our nervous systems haven't updated since the Stone Age. Back then, if the tribe ignored you, you died. So when you get left on read in 2025, your amygdala doesn't know you're safe in your apartment. It thinks you're being exiled to the wolves. We are walking around with software designed for survival, trying to run an operating system designed for situation sims. It is a biological glitch. We are all just anxious monkeys trying not to get eaten. But we call it dating. And honestly, navigating this mess alone is terrifying. If you want to make sense of the chaos with us, hit that subscribe button right now. It's the only way to make sure we don't get lost in the algorithm together. Chapter 1. The Chemical Reaction. Let's be real about the spark. We worship the spark. We chase it on apps, swiping until our thumbs bleed. But biologically, the spark is a lie. That rush of obsession, where you can't eat, can't sleep, and check their Instagram every 4 minutes. That is just dopamine and norepinephrine. It is the exact same chemical profile as a cocaine addiction. Evolution drugged you. It bribed you to overlook the fact that they chew with their mouth open just long enough to get you attached. It's not a soulmate connection yet. It's just a really effective sales pitch from your DNA. Chapter 2. The Hangover. Wait, so if it's a drug, doesn't it have to wear off? Exactly, and that is where we screw it up. Somewhere around the 9-month mark, the chemicals fade. The fog lifts. Suddenly, you realize they have terrible taste in music and leave wet towels on the bed. Most people panic here. They think, oh God, I fell out of love. But you didn't. You just sobered up. This isn't the end, it's the actual beginning. The drug was just a bait to get you in the room. Now you have to decide if you actually like the person sitting there. Chapter 3. The Paradox of Choice. But why is it so much harder now? My grandparents met at a bus stop and stayed married for 50 years because they didn't have a supercomputer in their pocket offering them a million other options. We are paralyzed by the paradox of choice. You swipe past a perfectly great person because you think, well, maybe the next swipe is perfect. We treat people like Amazon products. If the toaster is slightly difficult to use, we don't fix it. We just return it and order a new one. But people aren't toasters. Intimacy isn't an app feature you can upgrade. Chapter 4. The Anxious Avoidant Dance. Speaking of broken toasters, have you noticed how the people who want love the most always chase the people who run away? It's the classic anxious avoidant trap. If you had inconsistent parents, you learned that love means chasing. So when you meet someone secure and boring, you feel zero chemistry. You interpret calm as no spark. You only feel in love when you are panicking. You are literally addicted to the anxiety, mistaking a panic attack for passion. Chapter 5. Boring is good. So we're supposed to be bored? That sounds terrible. It sounds terrible because we are dopamine junkies. But real love, the lasting kind, it is kind of boring. It's pragma, practical love. It's watching Netflix on a Tuesday and not feeling the need to fill the silence. It's knowing they have your back even when you're being a moody nightmare. We mistake the lack of drama for a lack of love. But peace is supposed to be quiet. If your relationship feels like a roller coaster, you aren't building a home. You're just paying for a ride. Chapter 6. Love is a verb. We treat love like a noun. Like a thing you find or fall into. Like a manhole cover. But love is a verb. It is an active choice you make every single morning, especially on the mornings when you don't like them very much. It is looking at their flaws and saying, I choose this mess. It's work. Not the toxic kind of work where you're fighting for basic respect, but the hard work of killing your own ego. You have to put someone else's happiness on the same shelf as your own. Humans are selfish. That is a hard thing to do. Chapter 7, the vulnerability tax. But what if they leave? That's the terrifying part. Yeah, that is the tax you pay for connection. You cannot be fully loved if you aren't fully seen, and being seen means you can be hurt. You can build walls, sure. You'll be safe, but you'll be cold. Grief is just the price of admission for a life that actually meant something. The alternative is numbness. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather get my heart broken a few times than reach the end of the line and realize I never really used it. Chapter 8, the mirror here is the kicker though. You can't love anyone else until you stop hating yourself. It sounds like a cheesy Instagram quote, but it's physics. If you feel unworthy, you will sabotage anyone who treats you well because you'll think they're lying. You will pick partners who confirm your worst fears about yourself. The relationship is just a mirror. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, you can't fix it by changing who is standing next to you. Chapter 9, the modern rebellion. In a world that is increasingly digital, fake, and disconnected, loving someone for real is an act of rebellion. It is the most punk rock thing you can do. To say, I see you, off screen, no filters, and I'm staying. We are so lonely, despite being so connected. We are all just craving to be understood without having to perform. Love is the only place where we get to drop the act. Chapter 10, walking home. Look, we are all just hairless apes floating on a rock in infinite space. None of this makes sense. But the one thing that makes the ride bearable is having a hand to hold. So stop looking for the fairy tale. Stop looking for perfect. Find someone whose weirdness matches your weirdness, get hurt, heal, try again. Because honestly, we're all just walking each other home in the dark. We might as well turn on a light for someone else along the way.